Hi, Charles. How's it going?
Hi, Lee. Great to be back. Let's just get right into announcing who we're doing today. Because when I want to immediately say something once you say what we're doing today.
Well, I want to say I'm disappointed. We're doing
Okay.
Rage Against the Machine,
Which album, Lee?
the first.
The self-titled. So, by the way, for the folks out there, I just wanted to say happy Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction day. Oasis made it, fuckers! All right, so this is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band. First look, by the way. Rage Against the Machine. Now, why are you so disappointed, Lee?
I am
What
disappointed
is the thing about them that disappoints you so much?
because I didn't dislike it.
Oh, poopy. Now, I said poopy. That's great. Um, I gotta say though, Lee, right off the bat, on our former show that both of us were on, I think we reviewed this album, and I'm gonna say the same thing then I say now. To me, these guys are like kind of like Ted Nugent, but in the opposite direction. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
Because Ted Nugent's so political, and I can understand why people hate his politics. I focus on his music. The same token, I can understand why some people really don't like these guys because of their politics. But I try to focus on the music, not like whether I agree or disagree. Doesn't matter which side of that equation I would agree with or not. I try to focus on the music and not really worry about what they're. I mean, with Rage, it's going to be a big part of it, I guess, but I don't really focus on the lyrics so much, just everything else, if that makes any sense. And always that.
yeah.
But I'm not a massive like Rage fan. I'm not like I just listen to them from time to time. I'm not like a Rage, whatever the hell their fans are called. I'm not just super fan of theirs. But we'll see what I think about it as well. This is the debut. Came out in '92. The one thing I do, and I'll make a note in the song, and if I say it again, sorry folks, but when this came out, I do remember being like, what in the fuck are we so mad about? What are we upset about? And a couple years later, I might have felt differently. But when this came out, I think it might have been a little bit, to be honest with you, a little bit before its time as far as what the fuck. But then again, not. I guess it depends on where you're from and your station of life. But to me, it was always like, it was a little, it wasn't off putting. It was more like, this is different. But I didn't really, the social messaging didn't really resonate at first with me. But as
Yeah,
far as, what they believe or don't believe, I don't care. I technically, honestly, I'm gonna say technically, I really enjoyed Audio Slave more than Rage, which is the offshoot of Rage, but with Chris Cornell.
yeah,
But that's just me. I did, but over the years, I dropped preconceived notions, and again, I understand why some people are like, I'll never listen to them. I get that, just like I understand why some people would never listen to Ted Nugent. I
mm-hmm.
get that. But I'll listen to both and judge it by the music and not alone. I don't really care about what they're saying, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. This came out in '92. This is the debut. You take it.
All
You
right,
take
I'll
the
take
lead,
it.
man.
The first song is Bomb Track. What upsets me is that I don't hate it. Yes, the rapping is annoying and the music is very basic, but the music is played well, and eventually the rapping does fit it. It's like an artificially flavored potato chip that doesn't taste good until I realize I have no other potato chips in the house. And then I start tasting some of the salt, and it gets slightly better, and I eat the whole bag full. That's how this song is. Not that it's particularly good, but that it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, now for In the Name. I'm sorry, what did you think?
Yeah. Pretty cool spidery bass riff to open bomb trap, and then ooh, we get some hard ass guitar. Yes, it's got a bit of a hip hop type feel musically, and Zach De La Rocha is practically rapping. And it's also got a little bit of a funk feel going on there. As hard as I may, I really can't find much fault with this track. Rather badass opener, if you ask me. Well, I suppose for Tom Morello's guitar ability, this isn't the most boring guitar solo of his career. So I guess there's something wrong with it right there, I suppose. But I think this track overall, I like it.
All right, what did you think of Killing in the Name?
Man, it opens with some bass work that sonically is reminiscent of the Jaws theme to my ear. At least a similar style. It's building tension. But then the whole band is locked up on this one here. At the time when these dudes first came out, like I was saying earlier, I couldn't understand what the hell they were staying up to. But fast forward a few years, and I started to get it more. And now we get a damn near standard Tom Morello guitar solo. The man is a maestro with those guitar pedals. Some of the sounds that this guy gets out of a guitar are a true marvel to listen to. Awesome song, one of my favorites on the album. Probably, if I'm being honest, my favorite on the album.
Okay, but this is actually a pretty good song. Still, I would prefer if he sang instead of rap, but overall I like the playing and I'm liking this more than disliking it. Okay, now for Take the Power Back. I'm surprised at how they can do music I would not want to hear, but do it in a way that makes me want to hear it. I don't have anything negative to say about this song. I enjoy it. What do you think?
More funkier, and this sounds like a more testosterone-driven Red Hot Chili Peppers type song. What's pretty sweet is the guitars that Morello lays down. Sounds a bit like horns at points on the track. I love the vocal flow here. Funky ass bass going on with this track. And again, now we're third song in, and we had a gimmicky solo in the second song, but now we're back to a pretty straightforward guitar solo. I think it's a pretty damn fine funk rock track. To me, for something filled with some straight angst vocally, it's got a nice feel to it. A flat out jam. So it may have been a little too long if I was going to pick on something. But, I mean, I still like it. So, there you go.
All right, what do you think of Settle for Nothing?
Pretty dark and brooding here. I also get the first feeling of a filler track. I mean, there is some interesting sounds going on, but lacks something that the previous tracks had. And to be fair, for me, it's hard to put a finger on what it lacks. The chorus does not much for me at all, and I'm sure it's complex musically, but it sounds like a bit of a mess to my ears, particularly the drum pattern. Got an interesting guitar solo, almost sounds a bit Brian May-ish. But other than that, this one was kind of a bore for me.
Okay, I could stand it, and I understood its point, but for me it's a filler tune. I could listen to it occasionally, but it borders on almost boring because it's not much of a melody, but I've heard worse. Now for Bullet to the Head. This is another one like the last one, except it was a little longer, and even though some of the music was quite good, I think this time I would have preferred it being an instrumental. What do you think?
Well, for me, we're back in the pocket. I enjoy the bass work on this one. The playing, I think, would make Flea take notice. That's a big key of Rage for me. They're a very solid band. Whether you like Zach De La Rocha's vocals or not, the band is tight. So I see where maybe you would want it to be instrumental. Because Tim Comerford's bass and Brad Wilk's drumming is pretty sweet when they nail it. They do here. And Morella's a straight up wizard for the solo here. The sounds he gets is why the band, they did actually make a disclaimer in the liner notes that there are no synthesizers, nor samples, or keyboards on the album. Because this dude is a wizard. The band straight up jams on this one. I enjoyed it, but I do see your point about it maybe being instrumental because you're not into that rapping.
Yeah. What do you think of Know Your Enemy?
Man, Tom Morello is such an original player. More funk groove here, and then, hell man, it kicks into a riff that is pure metal. I mean, this song makes you bop that head. The ascending riff in the verse is beyond excellent. Maynard James Keenan from Tool adds vocals in the bridge. The guitar solo, again, just beyond belief what this dude can do with those pedals. Definitely badass song here. I dig this one, Know Your Enemy.
Okay, I put this song was pretty cool. I think it would have been cool if he sang instead of rapped, but otherwise it was a decent song and I had no problem with it. Now for Wake Up. This is an okay song. I dug it. I liked the music. I do think they are beginning to be a little bit one note, but so far I'm okay with it. What do you think about it?
Well, this one reminds me of Jimmy Page playing some Tool tracks. At least that's how the beginning reminds me of. This song is part history lesson, part his protest song. Complete with a spoken portion taken from a memo from J. Edgar Hoover, which is wild. The guitar solo gimmicky, but not as impressive to me as the others. But the riff work is solid as hell. The song builds in intensity, and there's another band that reminds me of it points is STP, just in parts of the song. This one is pretty cool. Solid album cut, but they play it live often. It was right before the encore, from what I understand. I've never seen them live, but I guess it made the live rotation. So, but I think it's an album cut too, but a decent one.
Okay. What do you think of Fistful of Steel?
Well, I hear a little Eddie Van Halen worship bit there in the opening from Earl's guitar work. And he did state that Eddie was quote unquote our generation's Mozart. So respect for that. But there's something lacking here for me in this song though. It's just a bit generic in themes for these guys, and I do like Morello's playing, but that high note he keeps playing works my nerves. That it really worked my nerves, I'm gonna be honest. This one didn't sit too well for me, rather generic all the way around for what this band pulled off.
Okay. I do like this. It's one of the better songs on the album. Maybe some of the moments when it's mostly drums and vocals, I wish there could have been more stuff filled in, especially with the interesting cloth on strings guitar parts. But I can still dig it. Now for Township Rebellion. I like this song too. I am starting to feel like their songs on more about what they're singing about instead of about the music. So that's a little bit distracting, but I can still think this song is okay in spite of its consistent political element. What do you think?
Well, whatever they ran that bass through is very interesting sounding. Great in percussion here play with the drums here as well. I dig that tempo change from verse to chorus. There's just a good solid groove here. But this is the whale of a band when it comes to musical ability. I mean, it's not a great tune, but it's on the higher side of the album cuts for sure.
Okay, what do you think of Township Rebellion?
That's what I thought of it.
Oh.
I just did Township Rebellion. We're on the last song, Freedom.
Oh, so did I say that I liked it too? And okay, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. All right, Freedom. What do you think of Freedom?
Freedom. We close out right where we need to be. That fucking groove these dudes get is infectious, and that's a good thing for me. All three musicians show out on this track. More of that great percussion than some fantastic guitar and bass. The sped up breakdown is highlighted to me. Man, there weren't many bands in 1992 playing like this. There have been many after, by the way. And even though, like I said earlier, I understand some having issues with their politics, to me that's a shame. So just listen with open mind. This is one of the best bands in the 90s, easily.
Okay, I put, in concept, Freedom is the best song on the album. And I like a lot of it, but there were a few draggy moments because it seemed to me it was trying to be sort of like its own version of what Led Zeppelin did on How Many More Times. Except in this case, the group still relies too much on the political aspect, which is fine, but I think hinders what the band does musically. And I would be happy to know if they ever did an album without the political overtones. Still, it's a decent song, and I could listen to this again occasionally for enjoyment. Yeah.
Yes, it's called Audio Slave, Lee.
Oh, okay.
With Chris Cornell. Jack Miller wrote all the lyrics, and yeah. But you survived Rage Against the Machine. You probably like the song or two better than I did.
Probably.
Wow! Holy shit!
Yeah.
It's like the second time I've done that.
Yeah.
Or third.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the third Freeport.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And the Freeport's better than that subject. But
Yeah.
this band, well, you've been. There was a Red Hot Chili Peppers album. I remember you were fairly glowing about, but I didn't care. It's got good funk. There's some good funk rock moments.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, don't get mad.
I'm not.
That ain't right.
Well,
That ain't right.
all right. I'll try.
But Audio Slave, if you don't want all the political messaging, I think you should listen to that. There's only like an album or two.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
And it's Chris Cornell singing, and
Okay.
and you probably enjoy it. But Rage Against the Machine, if you can drop any preconceived notion, folks, if you are of that red hat wearing motherfucking people, then you probably wouldn't want to hear it. But drop that. Dislike for you blue hat wearing people that want to diss Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent's got some great music, right, Lee?
Well, he doesn't always get political in his songs.
Not his songs, but people just like
Yeah.
his whole shit.
Yeah.
Against them. But Ted Nugent was ruled, and these guys, I mean, just blot out the lyrics and just listen to the music, because there's some incredible playing going down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against the political, but it's just that when they're rapping instead of singing, it seems to me like they want people to listen more to the message than the music.
Well, yeah, it's Rage Against the Machine, so that makes sense. But the playing is pretty cool, right, Larry? Overall.
Yep, it's pretty cool.
Well, that's our kind of shit here on the Christmas show. Cool playing, non-Nantucketing and free playing groups, and we love it. But, I don't love it. But you would like it more than you thought, so that's cool. You liked it more than me, folks.
Okay.
Right. Well, thanks for having me back.
All right. Thank you. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.